Hello and welcome to this webinar on LifterLMS Advanced Quizzes. If you guys could just let me know, make sure my screen is still sharing because I'm going to be do a lot of talking and showing things, and just want to make sure that's still happening. Kathy, let me know over there. But we are going to be talking about advanced quizzes today. I'm super excited about that. We've come a long way in the Infinity bundle that we've released, which includes our weekly office hour and some advanced LifterLMS features like advanced quizzes here. So I'm really excited to share with you what's going on in the quiz system, how you can use it, how it works, and then I'm happy to take as many questions as you guys have at the end of this, and we're going to get into it. Again, please feel free to drop questions in the chat, better yet in the Q&A box, and raise your hand if you want to go live and have a conversation. Sometimes with quizzes, it's easier to just talk about it than type about it, because quizzes are kind of advanced. There's a lot of moving parts that make them happen. I'm really impressed and amazed with what we've been able to create here. And it's only just better. This is just the version 1 of advanced quizzes that we've rolled out here. After quizzes, the next and final product in the Infinity bundle, at least for now, is assignments. So we'll be getting into that in the next coming months here. But this is all about quizzes, which is a really interesting tool and can be super powerful for you guys. So we released LifterLMS quizzes on, I believe it was Thursday last week. So here we are, a week out. We've already released 4 new updates that add things, bug fixes, and things of that nature. I had a learning experience in the whole process. In the software development world, you have to balance 4 things. You have to balance features, you have to balance cost, you have to balance schedule, and you have to balance quality. And in this release, what I learned is I want to have more time for doing more testing than what we did. So we're just a lesson learned. So going forward, we're going to be we have a commitment to improving our processes and timelining and scheduling around testing. So just throwing that out there. But I had a lot of fun building this demo quiz with all the new question types, and I wanted to. I'm super excited to share with you what it's all about. And I'm really grateful to Thomas and his ability as a developer for what we've built here. It always amazes me, some of what we can build in relatively short time, and they're not easy projects. For example, the e-commerce engine inside of LifterLMS, we were able to build. The whole social learning thing, we were able to build our initial release of that, which is, it's hard to build Facebook. The private areas add-on for coaching, quizzing. A lot of people sometimes use third-party products to kind of try to figure out quizzes, but building it from the ground up is a big challenge. And what we're able to create here, I'm super proud of. Thomas did an amazing job. It's going to continue to get better. And over time, I'm really happy about it. One of my core beliefs is that it is good to use as few tools as possible, made by as few companies as possible for your project. It just, the more you minimize all that, the less variables you have for things to go wrong or problems to occur. So anyways, just throwing that out there, building a quiz system from the ground up. Basically, we rebuilt the entire quiz architecture from the ground up is a Himalayan task. And I'm just really happy with where we've turned out and where it's at, you know, for in position and in good standing for what's coming in WordPress with Gutenberg, if you've heard of that. Super excited, just super pumped about what it is and how it's working here today. So I'm gonna get into what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you the student experience first, and we're gonna go through that so that you have a visual in your mind as I go through the back end about how to build all these different question types. So I'm just gonna get right into it. When I do testing, I like to have, the simple way I do it is I open up Google Chrome. This is what I'm using right here for my website, for my browser. And this is me as the WordPress administrator who made everything, can do everything, go everywhere. But then I also have Firefox open here, logged out. And this is what I'm going to test my student experience with. So if I ever want to just flip back and forth between the student experience and I want to make a change or change a setting in Lifter or something like that, I just flip back and forth like this. Sometimes when I do this in a webinar, it loses the screen share. Kathy, can you just confirm for me that the screen is fine, still coming through when I flip between the two? Cool. So if for whatever reason you guys just start chatting and stuff like that, if it loses the screen share, sometimes that happens in a webinar when you're changing screens a lot. But we're going to look at the student experience here. So I have this one course here. By the way, this is just a basic LifterLMS install. We're using the Launchpad theme in this case. And we actually have all the add-on, everything in the Infinity Bundle installed here. But today we're just looking at advanced quizzes. And at the end of this webinar, I am going to do a little bit of news, a little community announcement. One of those things has to do with the Astra theme, which is building compatibility for LifterLMS. I'm super happy about that, and I just want to let you guys know I'm going to touch on that at the end of this call if you happen to be one of those people who are interested in potentially using Astra. But here in our leadership course, this is just a quick demo course. We've got one section with 3 lessons, and we've got 3 access plans, a yearly, a monthly, and then I just set up a 30-day free access for testing purposes. So this first lesson right here is the one that has a quiz in it. So let's go ahead and enroll in that. And I'm just gonna make something up here. Who do we want to do? We'll do Susan. This error message you're seeing right here is just because this is a test website and there is not a SSL certificate installed. That's something you set up with your hosting. So you can disregard this error message, but when you do on your website, if you're using LifterLMS, you are going to want an SSL. Your web host can help you with that. That's the HTTPS that goes in front of the domain name that makes it secure. So Susan at LifterLMS.com. And I'll grab password here. And Susan Smith. And because this is a free course or a free checkout, there is no payment details. So you notice how the screen changes with a free checkout to be much simpler, so people don't get confused and think they're in a shopping cart. So we're coming on into the site here, enrolling in that access plan for the course. I'm going to close this basic pop-up notification. And you can see here we are. There's the enrolled view of the course description. And I'm going to jump right into lesson 1 here. And we've just got a simple video lesson with some text here. And sorry about that noise. I'm going to take this quiz. And you can see this particular quiz has unlimited attempts and settings, 65% minimum passing grade. And then we've got there's 11 questions. So I'm demonstrating all the different new question types in the LifterLMS quiz system. So what is the best WordPress learning management system? This is a simple text multiple choice question. I only have 2 here. You could have more, but we'll select that one and go to the next question. This is called picture choice. So it's like multiple choice for pictures. And you can see, as I move over the different images, it changes. So we want to go with this one. That is a mountain. You'll see in the interface, which I'm going to show you in a little bit, that you have the main question here, but you can also add other content. You could have an image, video. You can editor, open up and put whatever you want in there. So this is a true-false question. So I'm just saying the LifterLMS community is awesome. I'm talking about all the users in the community in Facebook. This Facebook group, if you're not in there yet, come see the awesomeness, and there's a link to it. Yes, that is true. Next question. Chris Badgett is blank years old. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think? 33, maybe? I am actually 39 years old. But this is a fill in the blank question. And you can also have multiple blanks and in a fill in the blank, and you can make it automatically graded or manually graded. So it's a really cool system. I can't wait to show you the interface on how this works. Thomas did an amazing job with that. And yeah, that is how old I am. And this is an example, by the way. I put this picture in here so you can see how, a question has the main question. This is a fill in the blank type, but I've also added an image here just to, to build out more content around the question itself. So this is called Reorder Items. So basically you drag and drop these things into the, the correct order. So the online course creators that are most successful do things in this order. So this is in my experience, what I found out. Typically people do it a little backwards. I'm totally guilty of this too, but they actually shop for LMS software and eventually settle on LifterLMS for their self-hosted online platform as a first step. What I've seen with the people that are most successful is they actually buy the tools or go shopping for tools last. So I'm going to move that to there. I'm also a big believer in building community first and contributing value to it before you start, just launching products into a community that you just started. So if you can, this is your email list or Facebook group or participating in other people's communities. I really believe that is a great first step. Then there is the whole concept of piloting. So I'm going to move that to number 2. This is where you kind of test a course idea, just like they pilot movies and TV shows to see if they're going to run it. The most simple version of a pilot involves you just having like a PayPal account and Skype and, doing some, a series of 5 live coaching calls where you teach something. Pilots can be very, very simple. They don't need to be complex. You could also do a pilot course with Lifter where it's, it's very basic, or you limit capacity to like 3 or 10 people. But that's what piloting is. And then you build out, the more evergreen first version of the curriculum. And then you get the tools and wrap it in technology. So anyways, that's my take on it. And that is reordering items. And then this is called, I think it's called picture order. So reorder these people from youngest to oldest. Let's see here. This one goes over here. Oops. And she goes right there. So 1, 2, 3, just like that. So you can do all kinds of things with this one. You can see our little counter down here. How far we are. We've also got our progress bar up here. And yeah, you can see this is more of just like a visual version of the reorder items that we looked at before with just the text. So I'm going to go to the next question. So this is what's called a short answer, requiring manual grading. What is the elevator pitch for your course? I help executives get in the best shape of their life through online yoga training, 15 minutes a day for 90 days. So that's a decent elevator pitch. I just made that up right there. But you should definitely know that for your course, by the way. And the basic formula is I help this type of person get this type of outcome through this method. That's a basic elevator pitch. But if this was a business course and I was teaching people how to become a better entrepreneur or start their first business in whatever niche, I might ask a question like this and grade them on their elevator pitch and give them feedback. So this is an example use case of short answer. And then this is the long answer. So you can, there's a lot you can do with this, and we'll look at it more in the back end. But I've got some good old fashioned lorem ipsum Latin over here that I'm just going to put in there. You could bold stuff and, add bullet points and, do all kinds of stuff in there. But, remember, if you're as old as me, 39, you probably remember taking tests on paper and or essay questions, and then you would have to turn them in, and the teacher would give a grade and leave some remarks. That's what this kind of thing is all about. So this is the long answer. And this is a code question type. So there's actually a lot of LifterLMS users that are teaching different kinds of computer science or programming or, languages in coding languages, web development. So they have a particular way of, communicating. So this is the code question type. And this is just really simple. This is actually like, if you have a link, this is what it looks like in HTML. This is the link. I can see I actually spelled that wrong. This is a link for google.com, and the word Google would display on the page and link over to Google. So if we go to the next question, this is the upload question type. And in the spirit of our yoga example, you can see here, upload a picture of you in the yoga pose for form inspection. So if I was teaching yoga through the internet, I mean, it is a challenge to teach physical things through a screen, but it can be done. And if I'm teaching those executives how to do yoga, get in the best shape of their life, 15-minute a day practice, I'm going to want to be checking on their, warrior 1, warrior 2, downward dog, all that stuff. So they're going to have somebody take a picture of them and upload it. In this case, we're allowing these types of file types to be uploaded. So all you got to do is click right there. There's me. Actually, not me, but I just grabbed a picture of somebody doing a yoga pose, and we'll attach that. So if you ever want your students to upload something in the quiz, you can use that. So this is a question type. We're on our last question type here. This is a scale. So on a scale from 1 to 10, how was your results from taking this course that we promised you would get? So in sales or marketing, this might be called a net promoter score or just a general satisfaction survey. We actually snuck a secret feature into this release. This was inspired by somebody in our community where you can also use everything you just looked at to collect what I would call survey or assessment data, where it doesn't count against the grade, but you're collecting some kind of information. So this particular question in this quiz does not contribute to the grade, but is actually that tool for the website owner to see how well their course was doing. So that's assessments. You could call it an assessment, a survey. It's a kind of a secret Easter egg type feature that was inspired out of some comments in our weekly office hours call. And that's what that's all about. But that'll make more sense in the back end. I'm just telling you about that. So I can complete my quiz. And this is pending review because we had these 4 question types that are required grading. So we don't have a grade yet, but we can kind of look in here and see what we said. And this particular quiz has unlimited attempts. So we could actually start it up again, or we could move on to the next lesson and just go from there and come back later and see what our grade is. So now I'm going to switch over to Chrome, where I'm logged in as a WordPress administrator. And now we're going to look at how do I build that? If you're thinking that looked pretty cool, I'd like to use some of that or build those. Let's look at that in the back end. So I'm going to go to the WordPress dashboard here. And Kathy, can you let me know in the chat? Just want to make sure my screen's still sharing properly. I'm in the WordPress dashboard and you can see it. Cool. So we are in the back end here, and I'm going to go to my courses. And here's our leadership course. I'm going to launch the builder. And inside are these little symbols here denote that, content is present, a quiz is present. And, if you want to get to the quiz, this is where you go to get to the quiz or add a new one. Like there's no quiz on lesson 2. If I want to add one, I could add one right there. But so I'm going to open that up, and you can see this interface pops out here. So this is amazing what you can do from one screen here. And I'm really impressed and grateful of what Thomas is able to build and architect and conceive of here. So here are all our questions. I can expand them all like this. So now this is like all my questions. I'm actually going to collapse that, and we're just going to look at one at a time. But So just kind of take it from the top. This is a quiz attached to lesson 1, and it has 12 total points in it, and it is published. It is live. So what we're doing here is LifterLMS allows you to create a web application. This is not just a website. You actually have, a full-on web application platform. So this interface here is for your web application. WordPress was originally designed for just blogging, but it became a platform for development. And we at LifterLMS come into, our vision and mission, and part of our purpose is to democratize education in the digital classroom, which means we give you the power to build an online school and own the platform. But this interface here is not the normal WordPress interface. So because this is more of how a web application looks. And I'm just really impressed at what Thomas was able to build here. And you'll notice a lot of improvements from the old interface, and how much quicker you can put quizzes and questions together and edit things and that sort of thing. So this is the what we would call the quiz builder as part of the course builder. If you ever need to get out of there, there's the X button. Here you can go back to the the WordPress page of the course, or the front end view of the course. So what is the best WordPress LMS system? I'm going to go through each of these question types so you can see how these are built. So I'm just going to open up this one. This is the multiple choice question type. And you can see here what I was talking about with my how old is Chris? Fill in the blank. I added an image below that of me actually in Costa Rica, where I went to film one of my online courses through this interface right here. So that's what that is. If you want the regular WordPress editor, like we had on that question type about how awesome is the LifterLMS community, that's where and put a link to the Facebook group. We did that with this, which looks very familiar to you guys, I'm sure. So the question goes up here. You can duplicate questions, you can trash them, you can close that area. The points. So let me explain what points are and grades. So this may make complete sense to you if you're already a teacher. If you're not, I think you might benefit from just a little bit of an explanation. So the LifterLMS quiz system has what's known as points and weighting. So the classic example I like to describe is, let's say you have a 10-question quiz. For simplicity's sake, 9 of those questions are multiple choice, and then the last question is an essay. But the essay is worth half of the grade. In that case, I would each one of the multiple choice questions like this one here, I would give 1 point, and then there would be 9 of those. And then the essay question, I would give 9 points. And that is what is going to cause the grade. But I'm saying that not all questions are rated the same. So, or weighted the same. So that's what points and weights are. So when you grade, and you don't have to use ones, like you could give this question, you could have 5 multiple choice questions and give them 10 points each, and then give the final quiz 50 points. So all that would add up to 100. But when you're grading the essay, worth 50 points, you may give that person a 37 points out of 50. So all that works together to create the actual grade. So that's what that means. And you can see as I hover over this, some people have a harder time thinking in points, myself included. I actually think better in percentages. So Thomas did a great job here. He added a way for you to just do a quick check, like, yep, that looks like about right. I want, that's about 8% of the grade. So that's points, percentages, weights, and grades. If you have any questions about that at all, please let us know in the Q&A feature here in the webinar. So if I wanted to add a new question, I could add it here. I don't need an LMS, or something like that. Now I have 3, and here I could select, oh, this is the right answer, but I think that is a correct answer. We've also added a feature called multiple correct answers. So this means if we were going to add a 4th option, what is the best WordPress LMS system? I would say LifterLMS, Advanced, 2 Z's, and quizzes. LifterLMS, Advanced Quizzes. So in this case, I'm actually saying that in order to get this question correct, you need to that's what multiple correct choices plural is. So that's what multiple choice correct plural is. So you have to select both to get this answer correct. So the word multiple choice makes sense and we hear it in our mind, but it's kind of a shortcut to not telling the full story, because there's multiple choice single answer, multiple choice multi-answer, multiple picture choice, which we're going to look at next. So that's what this thing is here. You can delete lessons in this way. Results clarification is where on the quiz summary that the student sees, if they get this wrong, you can leave a specific message. So if someone were to select in this question as it exists, if they were to select something else as their answer, when they look at the quiz summary at the end, if they open it up, they're going to see this comment display there automatically, like, really? Because they got it wrong. So that's what result clarification is. And I just want to also acknowledge the Yoast team over at Yoast SEO. It's the largest SEO system for WordPress plugin. The Yoast team there in the Netherlands originally built this feature in one of the early versions of LifterLMS. They came up with the concept, and I just wanted to say thank you to Yoast and the Yoast team for that. But that's what results clarification is. So this one's worth 1 point. And moving on. So this is the picture choice. So you can see here where, we've uploaded these 3 pictures. I could add another picture and add an image. Again, you guys, if you ever come in contact with Thomas, this interface is really amazing in my opinion. We are still working on getting documentation together for the new quiz system. It's a priority, and we have our documentation party next week where we're really going to focus on this. But I built all of this without, I had done testing and stuff like that as we were building it. But I didn't need to look at a single documentation. Even when I first saw it for the first time, I intuitively knew where to go and how it works. I hope you have the same experience. But if you come into contact with Thomas about that, he's really impressed me, and the skill, he just continues to evolve and get better and better at this stuff. So that's how you would just, add an image. You could grab stuff that's already in your media library or upload. So, and same thing, you could have the multiple correct answer if you wanted, like you know, if I were to put another picture of a mountain here, which is a mountain or which are mountains, I could do that. So that is the picture choice. You notice here, let me open this up. And I'm going to close this one. So this is the true false question type. And you can see here where I said the LifterLMS community is awesome. You see how that's bold? Look what Thomas built in here. There's like a little inline editor thing. So if you want to make your question pop or put emphasis on a certain word or underline something, you've got this little tool right here. Pretty cool. But that's how we made this bold. This is what I was talking about when we were looking at the front end tour. Sometimes you need more than just the question. Like you might need to insert a bunch of other information or instructions around the question. So in this case, we opened up the description area. We turned that on. We put some more information there. We put a link in there. I could add images or video. I could even add images and video in the editor here too. But pretty cool. That's how that works. You know, I could see people using this for, you know, kind of like clarifying the question or framing it or giving people just kind of instructions on how to answer a specific question more than just the question itself. So that is true, false. And you can see here, it's just that easy to, you know, change which one is the correct answer. So that's what that's all about. Over here is the fill in the blank. Super cool feature. In this case, you can see where I had the question. I decided to add a picture of me below the fill in the blank question type. These are draggable, by the way, if you ever want to reorder them. But this is the image here, and there's the correct answer. And I am, in fact, 39. Now, this is an interesting feature, which is pretty amazing, that you can have multiple blanks in a question, and you can increase the size of the blanks if you want. And what this message is here, create or separate multiple blanks with a pipe character. So if you look at your keyboard, there's like a symbol on there that's a vertical line. That's the pipe character. So what I'm saying is Chris Badgett is 39 years old and blank. Look at this little thing right here where I can actually insert a blank this way. Chris Badgett is 39 years old and that many days. So that would be a multiple blank situation. By the way, you can also, you don't have to use that little tooltip thing I was showing you. You can also just use the underscores key on your keyboard, like I'm doing right there, to make the blanks. So that is a multiple, a fill in the blank, multiple blank. So that's what that's all about. In that case, I would need to add a pipe symbol because I have two correct answers. So I'm just making this up. I don't know to the day. But 39, I'm saying the correct answer is Chris Badgett is 39 years old and 200 days old. I need to work on my grammar. But that is how that works. And you know what the really cool thing is? There's actually another question type inside of this, which is if you leave this blank, it becomes manually graded. Or it requires, you know, manual grading. So that's kind of cool. So that's multiple, or not multiple. I'm so used to saying multiple choice. That is fill in the blank, which is pretty cool. So you can have multiple blanks. You can change the size of the blank. You can have automatic grading or not. Pretty cool. So I'm going to close that one down. This is that reorder items question type. By the way, I keep talking about all these different question types. If I want to add a new question, I just click that button right there. So there is the multiple choice, picture choice, true, false, fill in the blank, reorder items, reorder pictures, short answer, long answer, file upload, code, scale, and other. This content thing is just, if you ever want to like put some content in the middle of a quiz, like between question 37 and question 38, you could. So that's what that content thing is. It just puts a little editor in there so you can put whatever you want that's not a question inside of a quiz. So that's how I got all these up here. You just click on what you want to add. So this is the reorder items. And you can see here where when you add them, you put them in the right order. So if I wanted to put one more item in here, I would just say smile. So that's the correct order. When it spits it out, when somebody's actually taking the quiz, it's going to randomize those. So they're never going to display in the correct order. I think it works that way. But it's so that is reorder items. You can see here where we were. You can see here where we were using that results clarification thing. So when our student took the test, if she were to look at her summary at the end, there's a little thing in here that says, she'll know that she got the wrong answer. She opens it up and she gets this message. So that is reorder items. And this is the reorder these people from youngest to oldest. So it's just a matter of, adding images. And you can see here, you put them in the correct order, but they show up on the website randomized. And then, you have to drag them around to get them in the correct order. Pretty cool. So what is the elevator pitch for your course? This particular question type is short answer. So pretty straightforward. You just put it up there. And if you want to put any additional instructions below it or information, you can by using the description, image, or video. So that's what that's the short answer question type. And, maybe we want to give that one more points. Maybe we want to give that one 4 points. So now our quiz in total is worth 15 points. This is the long answer question type. What is the meaning of life? That is a big question. And I'm actually going to, increase that one to, a much higher part of the grades. You see how that jumped up to 41% of the grade? Pretty straightforward to set up. You've got a description, image, or, you could put a video in there if you want. This is cool too. You can also do a word count minimum and maximum. You can see this thing down here, by the way, is saving automatically as we go, so you don't lose any work. So remember, this is the save button. This is the publish button. So we've moved beyond the WordPress editor here, designed for blog posts. This is a quiz builder. The word count minimum, if I wanted to say, 1,000 minimum, and I could either do no maximum or I could cap it at, 2,000. So I can use those features if I want. And as they type, it's actually, below the little box where they type in the long answer, there is it says what the minimum and maximum are if it's present, and it also, as they type, shows where they're at in terms of the word count, which is pretty cool. Then right here, we've got the code type question. What is HTML for a link to google.com? So if I open that up, we want that to actually be in HTML, and that's how that works. So if you are teaching people computer science and getting into programming, this question type may be for you. But you can see there's a lot of different stuff that goes into coding. So I'm going to close that one. Upload a picture of you in a yoga pose for form inspection. This is the upload question. Oops. And you can restrict the file types if you want. So right here, we're saying we'll take PNGs and JPEGs. If you're asking people to upload a small audio file or PDF, you can restrict it, or you can just leave it open and let them upload anything they want. But sometimes we've worked with the WordPress permission system to allow you to get a bunch of different types of stuff into the media library. So for now, that's what where it goes. So it goes into your media library where you can get it, so you can grade it. Unless, of course, you set the question weight to 0 and you get something and then you don't grade it. But use it for something else, perhaps. So that is the upload, which is really powerful. It's a little bit of semantics around, well, what's the difference between a quiz and an assignment? Because you could kind of use this question type to do assignments. So the reason I mention that is if you really want assignments and you want to, you need it like ASAP or yesterday, I would just use this. You could have a 1-question quiz with the upload question type. Now you have assignments. So we're going to be adding more to the actual LifterLMS assignments advanced add-on. But if you need to, something to work for you right now, this is a great solution. So just throwing that out there, just trying to help you guys. So I'm going to close that one down. And then this is the scale. So these can be graded. I'm just demonstrating that feature here. You see how this is worth 0 points? If I open this up, I did 0 points so that I could collect something on a scale, but not necessarily count it against their grade. But if your scale answer was, I don't know, what's the weight of carbon on the periodic table? And you had 1 to 100 or whatever, you could do that. So you can also do minimum values. So I did a simple 1 to 10. And I put some explainer in there because sometimes a scale needs to know, well, what does 1 mean and what does 10 mean? What does 1 mean and what does 100 mean? So that's what this minimum label, and this should say maximum label. We'll get that fixed. Like I said, this is version one of a product, so sometimes some things like this miss our testing, which we're always working to improve on. So this is the minimum. This is the maximum label. And then in this case, I had no correct answer. You could choose to have a correct answer on the scale or just leave it open if it's more subjective, like what I was doing. And if I want to keep going, I could just, drop another multiple choice in there and say, what color is the sky? And I'm going to say red, blue, screen. And, there we go. We're just continuing to build out that quiz there. So that's what that looks like. That's the quiz builder. Just to go through it real quickly, again, on the front end, let's look at it, and we're going to get to Q&A in just a second. But I'm actually going to take the quiz again. I'm just going to go through it really fast because this one has unlimited attempts. Let's start the quiz. LifterLMS. This one is a mountain. The LifterLMS community is awesome, and that is a true statement. Chris is 39 years old. Shopping for tools should be last. This little gal is first. This goes there. That's the reorder picture order. My elevator pitch is hello. I would probably get a low score on that one. This is that long answer. This is the code question type. This is the one where we upload. And you see where we allow the different file types there. This is the, on a scale of 1 to 10, how was your results from taking this course? This is that. This is the minimum result. 1 is I got 0 results. The maximum is I got the results and much, much more. I got a 10 there. Here's that one. I don't think I finished setting this up, but that is the color of the sky. So these are my results. You can see this is pending review. Here's that thing there where you get the results clarification. So if I want to take the test again and try to get this one right, that's how that works. And I'm just going to close this out here. I'm back over here on the WordPress site. And if I go over here to edit the course, this is the course page with the, where you put the course description and all that stuff. And, there's one way to launch the course builder if you're coming at it from this angle. But if we go up here into reporting, LifterLMS reporting, and I believe it was Susan that we were just in. You saw the quizzes were up there. You could get to them that way, or you could come at it this way. And I could look at Susan's quizzes. And here is Susan's quiz attempts. Sorry for clicking so fast. If you're watching the replay, or you might want to watch the replay and slow that down. But you can see these are all ones that need to be graded. So here's that first attempt we took. We'll look at the second one there. Pardon the slow internet. So over here, you can see when, right now she's got 5 out of 12. This percentage of points earned, that's going to go up when this gets graded. It took Susan 1 minute, 49 seconds to take this quiz. This is when she started it. This is when she finished it. And what you do is you come down here and you click the starter review. And you see here how you can leave comments even on questions that are automatically graded. But it's really these that you want to, start assigning points. Actually, we're going to give her a 0 on that one because this is not an elevator pitch. Please try again. And, down here we can check out like what this is that question that doesn't count towards the grade. So there's nowhere to assign points to it. And we can see what she thought of that. You can recalculate the grade and then, save it. And then it's going to show up over here where she can, see the final grade and all that stuff. So that is a lightning tour of the LifterLMS advanced quizzes. And we're going to transition to Q&A in a second here. Thank you guys for checking out that tour. I hope that clears up some things. We are, scrambling, just version 1 of the software. There's always a lot going on. So we're finding issues that we're correcting. We're helping people. People have a lot of questions, because the quiz system has changed. There's a migration involved where the quizzes move over. Like the old multiple choice questions that you had if you were using it in the previous version of LifterLMS, you have to click the run the database update button, and that moves those questions into the new quiz builder. But because things change, people have a lot of questions. So we're taking a lot of questions, explaining where things are. I've got a chunk of time this afternoon where I'm going to be working on helping too with the documentation so that we can get some more documentation out there for you. I hope this video training was helpful as a form of kind of video documentation and just a tour. At one point in my life, I was a professional tour guide in Alaska, taking people out in the wilderness on sled dog rides. So I hope you enjoyed your tour. And I'm just looking over my notes here. Before we get into Q&A, I just have some general news and announcements. So the first thing is, I mentioned in the beginning, assignments is coming. That's what's next. We're gonna hang out here for a bit on quizzes and just keep working on it. You can see, if you would, Kathy, drop a link in the chat over on the WordPress page. There's a tab called Development where you can look at the changelog. The changelog is a list of new things that roll out inside of the core LifterLMS. So you can see, like, in the past week, we had 4 releases, and you can see what's inside of those in terms of bug fixes, improvements, new features, and so on. So check that out just to see what's happening, or if you want to keep your finger on the pulse of what's new in Lifter. The changelog is always a good place to go for that. And but then we're going to be getting into assignments, and I'd love to hear any if you have any wants or needs around assignments. Feel free to email me, team@lifterlms.com. I'm just curious if just always want to make sure I check with you about what it is you need and how you see your world and your needs for assignments. We had like I was showing you with the quiz interface and your web application, your online learning platform. There's something called the WordPress core heartbeat API, which powers the course builder and a lot of the automatically saving stuff so you don't lose stuff, and some of the other saving functions. And we're discovering that some of the web hosting companies out there are restricting access to that. But we so if you're having any trouble getting like the course builder or the quiz builder to show up, please contact support so we can help with that. For maybe 4 hours yesterday, we realized it was starting to happen on WP Engine, and we fixed that. We released a new version of LifterLMS 3.16.4, which resolved that issue. So anyways, as you get into the quiz system or, Lifter in general, there are people standing by to help you. So please submit a support ticket if you're a customer. If you're a free user, we also care about you. So please, if that's the case, over on the WordPress.org forums, there is for LifterLMS, there's a support over there. We do prioritize that behind our paying customers and especially Infinity Bundle customers. So thanks in advance for your patience. If you are a free user looking for help, we will get to you. But that is that we're there for you. But anyways, that's an interesting issue that just popped up in combination with the timing of this launch. Some people are dealing with it, some people aren't. Everything's going to be okay. We'll get it sorted. We'll help navigate through it. But at LifterLMS, we're kind of the innovators. We move quickly. We're on the cutting edge of helping you build not just a website and personal blog, but a full-blown online school web application. So sometimes we bump into these issues before, because we're on the kind of the bleeding edge there. But like I mentioned at the beginning of this webinar, in the launch of this one, we did have a learning experience, and next time I'm going to, for assignments, we're going to really focus in on a longer beta testing period before the rollout. So anyways, I just want to take responsibility and ownership of that in terms of how we balance, features, cost, schedule, and quality. So it's just a learning moment for me, just sharing about that openly. So if you did encounter a bug or are encountering a bug, we're always looking to improve and do better ourselves. So just throwing that out there. If you do come across something, bugs are part of software. If you see anything that doesn't quite look right, or like you noticed, I saw the word minimum was where the word maximum should be, just submit a support ticket and we'll clear that up. So thanks for that. But yeah, I'm super excited about where this is going to go and where we're going to go with assignments as we approach in a couple months the wrap up of the initial rollout of the Infinity Bundle. So thanks for checking this out. Ultimately, the price of the Infinity Bundle is going up to $1,000, actually $999, I think, when the final product assignments drops in there. So it's still on sale if you want to get it and lock in cheaper pricing before it goes up. You can also get advanced quizzes a la carte if you just need that out of the Infinity Bundle, but don't really need the other things. So it's in the store. I'm seeing some people are getting the Infinity Bundle. Some people are getting the Universe Bundle plus advanced quizzes. Some people are getting like Stripe and advanced quizzes. So it all just depends on your needs and your requirements. If you have any questions about like which specific tools or which bundles are right for me, just email us at team@lifterlms.com and we can help you think through that, understand and vet out your requirements to make sure you get the right thing for what you're trying to do. So that is, there's one more Lifter news, which has to do with this month. We are going to be doing an advanced quizzes giveaway. So we ran a giveaway last month for our Done For You services. There was a winner for that, and that person is working with them, getting there, moving forward with that. But we are going to do another giveaway just for advanced quizzes. So just keep an eye out for an email about that in terms of just throwing your name in the hat for a chance to win a free year of advanced quizzes. So in other news, outside of the LifterLMS community, well, I should say outside of LifterLMS, the core business here, we're seeing a lot of other companies building products for LifterLMS and training and all kinds of writing about it. It's amazing. It's interesting. We're super grateful. We're part of a broader community of education entrepreneurs composed of teachers, technologists, instructional designers, content creators, all these different things. And more stuff is rolling out in the momentum of LifterLMS as it continues to grow in popularity and scale. And so we're grateful for that. And I just wanted to really spotlight a couple, 3 things that are happening right now in the broader community. The Astra theme is building deeper LifterLMS integration. We've been posting about it in the Facebook group. And a lot of screenshots and talking about it. Sujay and his team over at Brainstorm Force are developing that LifterLMS compatibility. It's really amazing. I've enjoyed playing with it. I think there's going to be a lot of people switching to, or if they're asking, or if they're just starting out on a Lifter project, trying out Astra. I highly recommend it. I love what they're doing. It looks really good. It was, for me, it's just like a WordPress user when I started using it, and just knowing my way around LifterLMS. It was very easy to get set up and change the design of my website and the branding. And he even has some really cool features in there, like distraction-free checkout and distraction-free lessons. It's really cool. So thank you to Sujay and the Astra team. Check out Astra, and I'm by the time you hear this, if you're listening to this on the replay, they're rolling it out. Just check out their website in terms of what you need to get their Lifter add-on. But it's really amazing. Also, Adam over at WP Crafter, I believe it's this week. It might be next week. He is releasing an all new how to build your online course training series or training video training course using LifterLMS, Astra, and Elementor. So if you're interested in that combination, and Adam's a great teacher, I would encourage you to check out his site, wpcrafter.com, and he'll be, you'll find links to it there. He's also got a big YouTube channel for his training video about Lifter and Astra and Elementor, which is another popular page building plugin if you haven't heard of it. Also, I wanted to announce that another company called Wisdom Labs is rolling out a group registration add-on for LifterLMS, which is very cool. It does use WooCommerce. So the scenario for that is if I want to buy like 10 seats in a course for my team, and after I buy it, I put in their email addresses and enroll them all in the course. That's what group registration is. So I can buy and enroll a bunch of people all through I can just update my quantity in the cart to whatever I want it to be. And then after checkout, I can add my people on this group registration page to get them automatically enrolled in certain courses and memberships. Super cool. That is rolling out soon. I'm sure we'll do an email about that or blog post when that becomes available. So check out Wisdom Labs. At the bottom of the LifterLMS.com website is there's an area called Find an Expert. So if you need help with anything outside of LifterLMS support, like this thing appears not to be working, or how do I do X? If you need to add functionality to Lifter that doesn't exist, or you're looking for a great designer to help you build out your site, check out the LifterLMS experts. And I bring them up here because Wisdom Labs, the creator of this group registration add-on, is also an expert. So not only are they rolling out that product, they're also available to help with custom projects or services if you need something like that. It's always good to have, technical and design help when you need it. So that concludes the news round of this webinar. So I want to open it up to Q&A. Thank you guys for listening, and I'm just going to jump into questions. I'm going to go to the Q&A box first, and then I will get into the chat, and then we'll check Facebook here. So back to the top. Navi asks, hold on just one second. Navi asks, will assignments be a separate plugin, or is it part of the quizzes plugin? It's a good question. So assignments, the LifterLMS advanced add-on for assignments, which doesn't exist yet, but will roll out in the next couple of months, is going to be a plugin. So if anybody has need there besides the obvious upload, I'd love to hear about it. Send an email to team@lifterlms.com. So Navi asks, does fill in the blank restrict the data type, alphanumeric or both? You can do both. Yeah, you can do both. So like if you wanted to start getting into math, you could do that. I believe that's where that question is going. If you need more clarity on that, just hit reply and let us know. Uploading assignment docx in PDF format for grading. Yes, that is there. Does the quiz summary feature only pop up when the answer for the question is wrong? Can there be a choice of when this pop-up appears? Option no pop-up on correct answer or incorrect answer. I'm not sure which pop-up you're referring to, but in the quiz summary, they see all their questions. They can see which ones they got right. They can see which ones they got wrong. They can see which ones they're waiting to be graded. And they can open those up and see what they put in there. And then that results clarification field, if used on a question, will display a message if they got the incorrect answer. And that's optional on a per question basis. Marissa asks, can you show us the results and what they look like? Marissa also says, great job. Considering it's only version 1, kudos to you and your team. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate that. Yeah, version 1 of anything, is especially something this complex, is it's a big job, and the team, everybody's doing a great job. And yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that. So the results, I believe we looked at that. That's where you're looking at which ones, you can see at the end of the quiz, or you can reopen it. And I'll show that to you real quick here. All right. So, yep, I'm here as Susan. And we may end up moving this, this is just version 1, where we may end up moving this over into the dashboard, like my quizzes, so that you don't have to come back to the lesson to look at it. But we may end up moving my quizzes thing over here. It's just not in version 1 territory. So if I go back to this question, and Susan opens this up, I can view my previous attempt, and this is where that student can see the results. And these ones haven't been graded yet, but that's where it is for now. If you only use automatically graded stuff, this would all be instantly showing up here. All right. So the next question, Warren asks, on quiz page, I need to get rid of a sidebar. How do I do that? Well, as you saw in my demo, there was no sidebar. I'm using the Launchpad theme, but that's really a theme question in terms of sidebars. So we have some documentation on LifterLMS theme compatibility that you can check out, but I'd encourage you to consult with your theme and see if you can contact their support, and if you're having trouble disabling sidebars, and ask them how to do it. But the sidebar, whether it's there or not, is a theme issue. So if you're not using our theme, I'd recommend reaching out to your theme author to see if they can help show you how to do it. And like I said, we also have some documentation on what you can do there. Either if you have some technical, if you can get into the theme a little bit yourself, or point a web developer in the right direction. Even your theme author, they can add. This is one of the great things about the Astra theme. They're doing a lot of stuff that work to support what LifterLMS does. So if a theme has an issue with sidebars showing up, and they add LifterLMS compatibility, it's very basic and quick for them to do for things like sidebar visibility and styling our course catalog and membership catalog. They can then advertise, the LifterLMS as a, something it works with. LifterLMS does work with any well-coded WordPress theme. So, many themes out of the box, no issues. But when you do have issues like that, it's the way the theme is doing the sidebar. We also have, by the way, a free plugin called LifterLMS Labs. And inside of that, there is a lab called Super Sidebars that you can turn on, and that might help fix the issue with your theme. It's really it's really the role of your theme to do that. But we do anything for the LifterLMS customer and user to help support you. And we develop Super Sidebars to help with some of the ways different themes are, displaying their sidebar. So that might help. So try that, but also contact your theme developer. Peter asks, hey, Peter, is the quiz connected with ActiveCampaign via WP Fusion, for example? It is. I'm just thinking if there's a way to do it now. There may actually be a way to do that through our engagement system, but we have inside of LifterLMS, a lot of behavioral triggers that you can tie into. Quiz pass and quiz fail right now is one of those. But beyond that, we don't have deeper inside the quiz kind of trigger points. But I would foresee in the future, hopefully, now with the new quiz architecture, having a WP Fusion or way to get data into ActiveCampaign or Drip or ConvertKit or whatever would be really nice. And I'd be curious what you're looking for in addition to, if it's just quiz pass or fail, or if it's more that you want into the CRM. The next question. Can we use the quizzes before people sign up to make sure that the people know that they're signing up for, and also to start finding out if they're a good fit for the training to become members? Currently, the quizzes exist, kind of in the course builder attached to a lesson. So, if you were to create a free course that is sort of like a orientation, or like a college tour, or I'm just trying to think of a metaphor. In that case, you could use the quiz. If they enrolled in that free course, took the quiz, you could use it. But if you wanted something a little, other than that, you can't really pull quizzes currently outside of a course. You could do something with a a form plugin or whatever. But for right now, if you did want to do it with the existing system, you would need to do like a free orientation course. And then that could be like a prerequisite for all the other courses on the site if you wanted to prevent people from getting in until somebody, approved it, or they, got a certain grade or whatever. David asks, about result clarification. How do you add a clarification to each option? I had it set up like that before, and now it shows all the clarifications of all the options on the student page. Each option. I believe the way it's working now is there is one like clarification if they get it wrong. So I think in the old system there might have been some different options, but I believe that might be what you're bumping up into in terms of the migration. But I'd encourage you to submit a ticket on that, contact support if you haven't already, and let's and we'll look at that. But if there's a way, like moving forward, to have like one clarification if they get the question wrong, that's how the new system is designed. Any malware virus test? Yes, there is. Well, I wouldn't say, Peter's asking, is there any malware virus test in the uploads of images and docs? Like the file type restriction is there. Thomas is obsessed with a couple things. I mean, a lot of things really, but security is one of them. Like sometimes people complain about the strong password system that's on by default, but that's us trying to take the high road of like good habits for security. I don't know the answer, but I know when Thomas codes, he's really committed to, escaping data or whatever that you're supposed to do to prevent any kind of backdoor or hole or whatever. So, but I don't know the answer 100% of exactly what's been done. And we're always open to, like discovering something and then doing a security update or, or taking a suggestion that we may not have thought of. So I don't know the answer, but if you would submit a ticket on that one, that's a great question. Marissa asks, if you're an Infinity Bundle customer, do you get all the new add-ons developed that year, such as the upcoming assignment add-on? Yes. So when you are a bundle customer, like the Infinity Bundle, you get everything, all those advanced add-ons, our weekly office hours call, everything in the Universe Bundle. When assignments rolls out, it will show up inside your account automatically. And when you buy it, you're locking in the price for, at what you signed up at. So even though the price may increase later, you got in before the price went up. So yeah, you get it's an annual subscription license, and you get any new product we release while your license is current into the Infinity Bundle you get, and the Universe Bundle, whatever goes in there, you get that too. And we're always like improving, the products inside there. So just looking to the future, that's one of the things that, after we get assignments out, there's a lot of things like in the LifterLMS core, social learning, and private areas, or other add-ons that we want to add. We're just getting through the release of all of the products in the Infinity Bundle. But yeah, any new thing comes in, you get it. Navi asks, will LifterLMS be issuing vouchers/coupons for the Astra thing? I don't think so. But I don't know. Like I'll talk to Sujay, and I want to do whatever I can to support them and help them. It's a great theme, and we're enjoying being in partnership. It's a great team. So I don't know what will work out, but when it rolls out, we'll help promote it and all that kind of stuff. So Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. Thanks for the idea. David asks about results clarification. How do you add a clarification to each option? I think we already did this one. Yeah, I think contact support on that one, David, and we'll go through it. And maybe come to the next office hours. Kathy, if you would drop a link to office hours down there. I know, David, you already have it. But anybody else, sometimes people just buy office hours if they want access to a weekly live call. Our support is great, and it's daily. I mean, it's the true technical support. But yeah, we can look at that too in office hours. But I'd encourage you to submit a ticket as well. But office hours is a weekly call where we get into technical type issues. Talking about other tools and strategies, marketing, launching, course-related stuff. I'm not the guru. There's a lot of great, smart people and experience in the room. So it's really turned into a great thing. Happens these days on Thursday afternoons. Marissa asks, do you prefer WP Fusion over Memberium to integrate with Infusionsoft? If so, why? I would ask that question in the Facebook group and let the community kind of speak their mind. I started with WP Fusion before Memberium had an integration with LifterLMS, and so I don't have a preference personally, but I don't have a lot of experience with Memberium, and I know Memberium does certain things that WP Fusion doesn't. And WP Fusion does some things that Memberium doesn't. So it really, and instead of a preference, it more, I think, depends on your requirements. So maybe we could discuss that in the next office hours. Just throwing that out there. And David says they can be wrong on 3 different occasions. So I believe what you're saying is on the results clarifications that they may get the question wrong 3 times with a different answer and still get the same results clarification. So I see where you're going. You're trying to help them in the results clarification, but they maybe on the 4th time they'll get it right, but I see where you're going and what you're trying to do. So I'm wondering if it's possible to do it with 1 clarification instead of 3. It's definitely easier work for you to set that up, but it also puts the onus on the learner to figure it out a little. It's a little harder for them to figure it out, which might be a good thing for learning, but I don't know. For your scenario, maybe the other way works better. So I'd like to talk about that with you. So let's make that happen. If anybody has other questions, feel free to drop it in the Q&A. I'm going to just scan the chat here, and then I'm going to check Facebook. Let's see. Amy's asking if she'll have access to this webinar. Yes, she will. We will send out a replay. Kathy already answered that. Yeah. Mark was asking about the ability to delete quizzes. He was having some issues deleting quizzes. So you can unpublish it. We have a release coming out with that functionality. So this is just kind of version 1 stuff that we're always looking to improve on, and I take full responsibility that we could do better. Is isolating some of these things before the public release. But we've got a we'll be launching another point release that has the delete quiz option. I know there's a save issue the team is working on with during the grading process. So if you see or notice anything, please submit a support ticket so that we can make sure we're aware of it so that we can get that fixed. Phil noted a typo in separate in the tooltip. So if you don't mind, please submit a support ticket on that one, even though it's just a typo. I'm going to make a note. I'll try to remember, but it's these kind of things that it's just really helpful if it comes through the ticket system or on the if you're a free user on the WordPress forums. All right. David's question again. Navi is saying that Thomas is a real Superman. I know it. Well done, Chris and the team. Thank you very much, Navi. We appreciate it. Thomas is really amazing. You know, it's sometimes when you're trying to work through a support issue, you might be frustrated and that kind of thing. But Thomas is an incredible web developer, and thank you for the kind words, Navi. It means a lot to us. Let's see here. Just going through the chat. Cool. We're looking good there. I'm going to check Facebook and see what we got. And then if anybody does want to talk live, I'm happy to do that. But let me get that open and see if we have any questions on Facebook. All right. All right. People are pinning it so they can watch it later. Dale likes the video because he's new to Lifter and appreciates it. Thank you, Dale. We'll be having more documentation about quizzes coming out soon. Dale also says he's been using weighted quizzes for years, but struggled to find weighted grading plugins. And this is the whole issue that I'm super proud of is oftentimes we would, in the past, in the WordPress ecosystem anyway, you go out to find like an e-commerce plugin, you go out to find a membership plugin, you go out to find a better profiles plugin, you go out to find a quiz plugin, you go out to find a achievement badge plugin, you go out to find a certificate plugin, and next thing you know, you have what I call the software Frankenstein. So the quiz system, really an essential LMS feature, has taken us a while to develop, but it's because we had to build it from the ground up, and you know, a lot of things comes from that kind of first principles thinking. So I'm glad you're happy to see it inside the plugin itself, Dale. That means a lot. So I don't see more comments in Facebook. I'm gonna close that out and head over to live. If anybody wants to go live, raise your hand. If you don't, that is okay, and we can wrap this up. But I'm not seeing any hands yet, but I'm going to talk for just a minute, and if we don't get any hands, we're going to wrap it up. So if you're thinking about getting LifterLMS advanced quizzes or getting the Infinity Bundle, which includes advanced quizzes, and you have any questions at all, hit us up at team@lifterlms.com, team@lifterlms.com, and we will get those answered for you. People do a lot of research when they're trying to figure out Lifter or trying to figure out their online course, membership site, or learning management system needs. So we field a lot of questions, and you know, we're not going to do any kind of hard selling or anything like that. We do a lot of basically consulting to see if LifterLMS is a good fit for your project or not based on your requirements. So yeah, feel free to reach out and hit us up. And team@lifterlms.com. And Kathy, if you would drop a link to our general contact page. Marissa has a question. I'd like to go live, so I'm going to bring you up, Marissa, and see what you have to say.
this was in one of the emails that you sent me too, so maybe it's more on clarification of that. If I'm working with a huge department, like an educational department, and I've got their course set up, or I've got their stuff in LifterLMS, how do I integrate? Because eventually, okay, so in order for me to pass on all the data, that's going to take some time. Is there an easy way for Lifter to somehow integrate with their system, which could be huge?
In terms of like what kind of data needs to go which direction?
It would be like just names and emails of anybody that registers, addresses. They actually sign an application form.
Going from your website back to the school or to the department or whatever?
Yes.
That could be developed. To do it manually is just like one click with the student export button. So I can show that to you real quick.
Awesome.
Let me share my screen.
So in other words, I could just manually send every time somebody registers, right?
Yeah, so we were looking at reporting and quizzes and the grading interface, but over here in reporting is there's all kinds of data in here. There's sales information, there's enrollment information, but the basics, and you can like filter all this stuff by certain days and months and all that kind of stuff. You can only look at specific courses or memberships if you want to. So you as the person who owns the website can get this, but over here on the main students page and also on the course page, there is an export option. So there's a lot that goes into building something like Microsoft Excel. So you can export this. And basically, I'm going to click this, but you're not going to see it because what it does is, if you read right here, the export is being generated and will be emailed to the website owner when it's complete. You can then take that data, put it in a spreadsheet, sort it. Let's say you have a specific membership associated with each department. Get the data you need and fire off an email with an attachment to the department. There are other ways, other things you could do too with something like WP Fusion, which we were talking about, where you can tag them in your CRM. You're using Infusionsoft now, I believe.
Yes.
So if you give the department access to the, I don't know if you want to give them access to your CRM or something, but you could develop some automation and have the CRM automatically be sending the department new enrollments as they happen. So that's another option. So, and there's even one more option I want to show you over here in courses, actually engagements. We'll just go straight to the email. Like if somebody purchases a specific course, Lifter has a whole email system built into it. So I can compose an email here that looks like this. This could also say, hello, head of education department, whatever. So-and-so just registered for such and such course. And that email can fire over to them too. So I feel like every time you ask a question, I give you 3 different answers, but I just want to make sure one of these is probably the answer without custom development, which would be the 4th option for, if you want to build a really precise solution that doesn't already exist.
And so, Chris, would they get everything when you export, like all the quizzes, the answers, everything, or can you pick and choose what they get?
I'll answer that in a sec. One thing too, by the way, is some people don't realize there's these CC fields down here. So if you just want to like CC the department on something that you get as the website owner or something, you can do it that way too. And you can do multiple CCs if that's ever necessary. So currently the quiz export, or I'm sorry, the student export is more basic. So this is just, we're in version 1 land. So the student export is more just name, email address, when they registered, what courses they're in, what memberships they're in, what their grades are. It's not everything, but we're open to expanding that. That's one of those things, like I said, after the after we get through the assignments, the Infinity Bundle, there's lots of things like that we, based on feedback from the community, that we'd like to add. So if there's something critical missing in there, we'd love to hear about it. But yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is to pull it down, sort it in Excel or whatever you use for spreadsheets, and then, delete the rows that are, not relevant to that department, which you should be able to do very quickly with sorting. And then you've got like basically an export of names and emails, courses enrolled in, and grades.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for the question. I'm going to move you back to the audience, and Mark Mays has a question. Mark, how you doing?
Chris, how you doing? Yeah, I'm doing good. Not a question, just something from Marissa. Also, the WP plugins for you folks have their suite of export, import to CSV plugins that she might look into.
Yeah, that's great. I appreciate that, WP. I'm going to bring that up on the screen in a second.
Yeah. He's got quite a few little, I can't call it a Swiss Army knife yet, but he's got lots of little gizzies there. I've used them a couple times to move from one LMS into Lifter. So
that's great. What is I'm just having trouble finding the website.
But WP plugins for you, one word.
Oh, I got it. There it is. So I'll bring that up on my screen.
You can let me go now. Bye.
All right. See you later. Let's see. All right. So Prashant over at WP Plugins for You has a bunch of LifterLMS plugins. So here's one that's Excel to LifterLMS. So he's he like sometimes when someone's trying to move from another LMS system and they're trying to get out of there and get into LifterLMS quickly and move all their people over and courses and things like that. This is a tool. This is what I really appreciate you bringing that up, Mark. So this is the import a quiz from Excel to LifterLMS. So the older quiz system was a little bit more cumbersome. So it just took a while to build out a quiz and questions and answers and all this. We've simplified it, but people use this plugin to import into Lifter. So I would check with him, since we just rolled out version 1, if this is 3.16 compatible yet. But this is a LifterLMS user enrollment plugin. This is a progress report exporter plugin. And this is how you can like import a course from a spreadsheet. And this is how you can export questions from LifterLMS. But anyways, this is wppluginsforyou.com. And this is what I'm talking about. He should have been in our news announcement. I'm really grateful to Prashant for rolling these out. But these can come in handy when you're trying to get data out or move data in to Lifter, and also if you're trying to get out of another WordPress LMS system like LearnDash or WP Courseware, and what were the other ones he had? If you're trying to move from LearnDash into LifterLMS or WP Courseware or this WPM LMS, you might want to see if one of his plugins can help speed up that process. So great tip, Mark. I appreciate that. And thank you again to Prashant for building that. All right. Any other hands? I'm just going to check the Q&A again. It doesn't look like we have any new questions. There's a hand. All right. Marissa.
Sorry for being a question hog.
Okay. I told you that we usually give you 3 answers. I think we ended up giving you 5 answers.
No, so. I love it, Chris. You're awesome. Maybe that's why I keep asking. Yeah. Wondering, you guys, if anybody has suggestions. I'm trying to find, and I know you have an add-on, I think, Chris, for graphic design, but I'm just looking for some great graphic designs for images to, lesson 1, lesson 2, just those types of images as I'm starting. Any suggestions?
Yeah. On the cheap, go to Fiverr. If you want something, if with more budget, and there's a service called Design Pickle that it's basically like a flat fee per month. They will design whatever you want, not like full websites, but if you need components, which is what LifterLMS people need, like course banners, achievement badges, certificate backgrounds, featured images for lessons, make a PowerPoint beautiful, all that kind of stuff. Something like Design Pickle looks really cool. And probably above that, the best solution is to have a designer on your team, because, if you're prolific in content production and you're going to have more than one course, you may need, some serious design help, because a lot of, we can't all be teachers, designers, web developers. So anyways, finding freelancers as well, like on something like Upwork is cool. I know people look at, trying to remember the name of it. Maybe somebody can drop it on the chat if you remember it before me. I think it's called Dribble. But back when I used to hire a lot of designers, I would go to, I think it was called Dribble, to just like browse design that people are making to look for a particular kind of look and skills. So sometimes it's hard to communicate about design. So when you find somebody that already has the look you want, that you intuitively understand, but maybe don't have the language to describe, that's usually where you get the best success. But yeah, there's your 4 answers there.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Anything else while you're up here?
Thank you, Dad.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
I'm going to move you down to attendee. Any final questions from anybody? All righty. Well, I want to thank you all for coming. Thanks for taking the time. That is it for the recording. Before I stop the recording, I just want to say, if you have any questions about any of this, send an email to team@lifterlms.com. If you like it and want to get it, advanced quizzes, if you don't have it already, you can head on over to lifterlms.com. You can find the advanced quizzes product, and you can find the Infinity bundle over there, which is a bundle of tools that includes advanced quizzes. If you're already a customer and you have support needs, head on over to LifterLMS.com, go to your account, and there's an area where you can submit a ticket along with your system report so the team can help get you resolved or help you find what it is you're looking for. So I'd like to thank you all for coming. And yeah, I'm looking forward to, like I said, this is version 1 for it to continually evolve. And we're always open to feedback and feature requests and that kind of thing. So keep it coming. And thank you for coming. And I hope everybody has a great rest of your day. We'll see you around.